Hello, this is Howie here, the proprietor of Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault podcast. Folks, we have reached the 100th episode, and in celebration of that milestone, I've kind of pieced together a best of, if you will, of some of the best and well-known comics that I've not only gotten to work with over the years, but also probably comics that you've gotten to see as well. Some of them are actually legends. So kick back and enjoy the 100th episode, a special celebration of Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault podcast here on the Wicked Radio Network. Let's just kick it off with the very first one, a highlight from the legendary Don Rickles. Is it okay to call you Don?
Yeah, no, call me King.
Hey, Don, is it true that when you used to perform up here in Lake Tahoe, you do like 3 weeks at a time, and the late Bill Hara, he would let you pick out like a Rolls Royce, or your wife Barbara got to pick out a Rolls Royce, and you got to drive that around the whole time while you were performing up here? Wow.
Well, she didn't pick out. Bill Howard always gave us a Rolls Royce to drive around, and no, we never picked out cars. We're not that crazy. Bill was. He just gave us cars.
This being your first time back in a long time, are you going to be able to acclimate yourself with the altitude? You know, we're over a mile up here, you know.
Well, if you see an ambulance outside with lights on, you know I didn't. Somebody's got to give me mouth to mouth. No, I hopefully everything will be fine. I was up in Aspen, Colorado just recently to get an award for the comedy festival, and the altitude didn't bother me there, so hopefully it won't bother me up in Tahoe.
Maybe it's because you've been coming up here for all those years, because I know a lot of comics, it's tough for them to acclimate themselves to the altitude, but you must have a secret that just makes it so much easier for you to breathe.
Well, my wife keeps a blanket over my legs, and I keep spitting up, and that helps my breathing.
Right. Well, a big part of it's genetics, but you got to have some type of special recipe or some trick that's made you just last this long.
No, 82 is pretty good, unless you heard some. Why, you know my doctor? You're looking for cancer? What are you looking for?
Hey, you have a lot of great stories about Bill Hara. You said he was one of the best with entertainers.
Bill Hara was about the finest owner I ever met in my life. He ran the casinos and the theaters so great, and he gave you every courtesy in the world and treated you like impossible to top. He was a wonderful man, and all my engagements with Harris at the time was always outstanding because of Bill Hara's policies and the way he treated the actors. It was really something special.
Was that the same as in Las Vegas, or?
Well, no, Vegas was pretty hot then too, except it was run by the so-called, they use the word mob, but it was run by individual guys, and it was more of a family, more of an intimate family kind of operation that you had one boss and one boss to answer to. Now it's a big time with rides and children and family, which is progress, which is great. But no, in those days, Harris was in competition with Vegas. Vegas wasn't folding up or anything like that. Vegas was pretty hot then too.
So you started out on the south end of the lake working Harris, or did you start somewhere else here at the basin?
I worked in a place called King's Castle, which doesn't exist anymore, and I worked there about 2 or 3 times with Robert. Robert Goulet was on the show with me, rest his soul. I remember that, and I had a short times up there in the North Shore. That wasn't at my time. It was mostly woods and that hotel.
That's cool. How do you just unwind? You know, as comics, we just like to shut down, but is there anything special that you do to kind of turn it all off?
My thing is laying on the couch, watching the Dodgers win a few games, rooting for the Lakers, and going to a couple of shows with my wife and having dinner with famous people. That's about it.
And you've traveled all over the world, but Tahoe's got to have a very special place in your heart for you, I imagine, right? I mean, not just because of the beauty up here, but I imagine you love it.
Oh, sure. After 6 years, I had great times with Bill Hara and Harris, and that was my home. I started out actually at the Sahara in the lounge over at, it's called the Pine Cone Lounge. You're the first one I told that to. That's where I started, and then Bill Hara heard about me, and the agent submitted me, and he was saying, no, we can't have a guy like him. He's too different for us, and sure enough, we became great friends. He was a wonderful guy.
We've actually been having some really good snow. Are you going to take some time maybe before or after the show and hit the slopes, do some skiing?
What do you mean hit the slopes? Jews don't ski. We own the skis.
Man, Don, this is really cool as a comic, just chatting to you. I mean, I just want to say thanks. You're inspiration to chat with.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice of you. Okay, keep your chin up. You've got a great personality. Work on your voice. You sound like somebody is grabbing you by the neck as you're talking.
That's because I'm the only Jew up here, Don.
Oh, well, keep it quiet, otherwise a tree will fall on you.
Do you think if you were starting out now, what with the politically correct environment, litigious society, people being overly sensitive about things, that it would be tougher for you starting out now as a comic as opposed to back in your time when a lot of the restrictions were a lot looser and not as so prohibitive as they are now?
No, not at all, because when I started out, and it was tough days, people didn't catch on to me right away when I was a very young man. And then my attitude and talent, or what have you, and my style of comedy caught on little by little. It was a tough struggle, but I established myself as being one of a kind, and I'm very proud of that.
I know you probably don't remember this because it was so long ago, but in Reno, back in I think it was the late 90s, you signed on Harrah's letterhead, "Hey, Howie, I've seen your act. Keep working on it." Could you update that and give me any advice right now as a comic, what you think I should do?
Quit.
Oh, my God, that is hilarious. Don inspired so many comics. A lot of them I had a chance to work with, including Bobby Slayton, the Pitbull of Comedy, and Lisa Lampanelli, the Queen of Mean. Lisa, for me, hands down, is the female version of Don Rickles, and she's such a sweet lady, but she could be so real. Thank you so much for making Tahoe a stepping stone to something greater.
It is, and it actually has not been a stepping stone. It has not helped in the least. So thank you very much. Howie Nave, ever to be a loser with a dream in Lake Tahoe. A Tahoe 9, a New York -1. You're down to negative numbers, okay, stupid?
Are there any celebrities that you will not touch, like they're like the golden idol, the holy grail?
Absolutely not. Everyone's
Really?
fair game. They should all die. I hate them all. The only celebrity I won't make fun of is you. Because you know what? You're not a celebrity. And you know what? It's not worth my time. I'll be honest with you. Howie Nave, ever to be a loser with a dream in Lake Tahoe. A Tahoe 9, a New York -1. You get good female callers and stalkers, too. Howie has a stalker. It's hilarious.
Oh, gosh.
I can't believe you're getting laid this week and I'm not. I'm a headliner and I'm better looking than you. And I lost more weight and I dress better. But somehow in Tahoe, you're a 9 and I'm a 2. How did that happen, Howie? This stinks.
I've been up here too long.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think you delude people into thinking you're a freaking celebrity. I mean, you're a loser with a radio station 6 to 10 in the morning. Nobody listens. You have no cell phone reception in this building. You MC with the same dumb 10 minutes of material for the last 12 years, but you get women flying in from East Coast to see you. What do I get? Nothing! He's a ham radio operator. He's a circus clown. It's not right, people.
The fabulous Lisa Lampanelli. Man, one of my most memorable chats ever was with the late, great Robin Williams. I actually had the rare chance to perform with him and Bob Zaney and Mark Pitta at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, north of San Francisco. And get this, man, this is the coolest thing. Robin was up in the balcony, and he watched my act, and I asked him, hey, what did you think? Did I do okay?
Well, I don't think I think you did more than okay. I think you did great. It was like you killed, which was kind of wonderful. Oh. And the balcony is wonderful because you sit up there in the Throckmorton is like an old Victorian, almost like a vaudeville house. So it's kind of wonderful to be up in the balcony. You feel like, I saw Jolson from the top balcony. It's an amazing place to watch comedy from.
Oh, it's great. It's just so... In fact, that's one of the fun things about, I think, when you know someone's a comic, despite all the, the movies and the theaters and all that, I think all comics, they just love to come back to their roots, and they'll even go into a club just to try new shit out,
Oh, especially late at night. That's the best time.
Oh.
Second show, I mean, not on a weekend, because that's when you get the hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
It's the heavy drinking crowd, part one. But then when you get during the week, and you get people who really are like, coming to just see a show, see comedy, and then it's interesting, especially going on late, because then even in the old days of the Comedy Store, going on after midnight was always kind of the special time.
Right. Like the old Holy City Zoo, remember?
Oh, big time. You go on to 4 people, 2 of them are comics.
We have a lot of great mutual friends. One of my favorites I've known for years is political humorist Will Durst. And he told me when he started doing stand-up, he said back then it was like verbal jazz.
I've been hanging out with Mort Saul, and it definitely was that. I mean, that a lot of times they were opening for jazz musicians, hanging with jazz musicians, so that they had this whole kind of, they're blended perfectly that way, you know. And then he was just telling about the old days about him hanging with Stan Kenton, and then Stan and there was a mutual admiration in terms of, hey, we're both we're exploring the perimeter with this stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting that I still refer to you as a Bay Area boy. I think you grew up in I think it was like Chicago, right?
Well, I was born in Chicago and lived in Chicago and Detroit off and on. But when my father retired here, so that's kind of everything kicked into high gear, and it was a wonderful everything kind of downsized, but it was perfect. We got to hang out as a family. Lived in a small house in Marin, which was great. And everything kind of changed, which for the best, which was wonderful. I went to a high school that was like, had girls, which was wonderful after being in an all-boys private school. It's like, what are those? Those are girls. Oh, cool. And it was kind of, everything changed for the best. It was really lovely.
And the Bay Area is such the perfect place. I mean, I was born in Palo Alto and then raised in the South Bay. I think the Bay Area comics, they always had a great kind of intellect about their stand-up,
Yeah, I mean, it was very supportive and I would talk to Boston comics. It was like, I think Dana Gould said it best. He said, the difference between San Francisco comics and Boston comics. In San Francisco comics, you have a latte and things. And when in Boston, you get a latte and then someone throws a beer bottle. Yeah, get off the stage. You're not that smart, But I mean, there was always that sense of the zoo because it kind of started, and it was weird because a lot of times of comic, and especially, the early days, it was the Hungry Eye and not the Hungry Eye, the Purple Onion and all those places. Yeah. And then, but like for us, like the zoo, whatever, was basically the comedy started as kind of like as interstitials between folk music, like at the zoo. That the guy who owned the zoo basically put on comedians because he, either to kind of in between to break up all the folk music.
Right. Now, I remember the very first time you competed in the San Francisco comedy competition, you actually came in number 2. But as we all know, if you're from the Bay Area, the number 2 spot was the coveted spot to get. Pollock came in second,
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people who came in second. There's a great tradition of people coming in second.
That and snapping at the winery up there in Saratoga.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one of my first memories of you up here in Lake Tahoe was you were working on an HBO special. You were trying out new material, and you actually followed Willie Nelson, and you did like 2.5 hours. You were trying new stuff out. I think you referred to him as your brother from another mother.
Oh, yeah, my brother. I went to see a show. He did a 4-hour set.
Yeah.
It was amazing. He just kept playing everything, and they went, well, can you want me to keep playing on? And sure enough.
And then you came out with the yellow pad? And
the famous Willie Nelson story about the police report that I guess he was in the South touring someplace, and he got word that they were going to, the DA, the local narcs were going to bust his bus. Mm-hmm. So I guess he cleaned it out as best he could. But he's had the bus for like 15, 20 years, the same bus. And they said, the police report said the narcotics dogs entered Mr. Nelson's bus and became immediately confused. They must have just gone like, what is it, boy? Where is it? It's everywhere. It's in the drapes.
This is always, I just love chatting with. It's always a blast, man. And now you've reached your 60s. Oi, what are you going to do?
Oi, 60, oi. It's the new 60.
All right, man, I'll let you go. We'll chat next time soon, and be well, and it's always a blast, Robin.
Take care, Howie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Howie Nave here. You're listening to a very special edition of Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault podcast. It's my special 100th episode, best of edition, featuring some of the best comics that I've had a chance to work with over the years. This guy, oh, by the way, and I just want to say, it's really fun when you get to talk to someone for the very first time who's never been to beautiful Lake Tahoe here in the High Sierra. Such is the case with a comedic actor, Russell Brand. The guy's just brilliant, and just love chatting with him.
Hello, Howie Nave.
Hello, Russell Brand. How are you?
Oh, I feel like I'm really happy. How are you?
Fine. First off, I just want to say it's fun talking to another comic. It's really relieving, actually.
Ah, yeah, it is a relief, isn't it?
So, it's our first chat. How have you been, Mr. B?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. I'm in a pretty good mood. I've got a cat on my stomach. I've got a song in my heart.
Are you going to bring the feline up here to Lake Tahoe?
There's no way that this cat will ever travel. My cat is named after Morrissey, the British singer, and is about that easy to deal with.
You know what? It's funny. I don't do a lot of background work, especially when I get to talk to a comic, because it's just fun to talk to another talking head. But looking at some of your stuff, it's really cool that you still maintain the art of doing stand-up, even though you got all the other stuff on the plate, you know?
Stand-up's more fun.
It is.
It's more truthful. I love stand-up very much.
It is. It's a great release.
Yeah, I think so, mate. You can't beat that authority, that autonomy, that spontaneity, the chaos, the craziness that can occur when you're on your own in a room with thousands of people.
Yeah, here's the thing I don't understand, and this has happened to me at a much smaller scale, but when organizations ask you to do something, because we're brilliant as hosts, because if something lags, who better to fill the time than a comic? So they ask you to come on to host whatever, and because of your talent, and then when you get to host it and you be yourself, sometimes they get all pissed and flustered. I go, wait a minute, that's what you wanted in the first place, so piss off.
That's right, Howie, you tell them. Don't stand for anything from anyone. That's my advice to you. Stand your ground, be the man you are.
Yes.
It's the same as in romances and in the purchase of a new sofa. Sometimes you forget the reason why you bought that damn thing. The leather sticks to your ass. You start getting concerned, and that's relationships I'm talking about there. Now tell me what it's like in Lake Tahoe.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's over 6,244 feet up. It's a beautiful alpine lake. It's gorgeous, surrounded by mountains. The air is clear. There's no drive-by shootings, and a lot of folks are in happy moods when they come up here, especially on the weekend.
Oh wow, it sounds like a good place to meditate.
It is.
What am I going to be doing? I'm doing a gig in a casino.
Yeah, it's Mont Bleu Casino, and it holds about 1,600 people. Plus, you've got the added benefit of not just the folks who live up here, but a lot of tourists come up here because there's parasailing, jet skiing, hiking, and like you said, this is like a Zen master's paradise up here.
Ooh. Well, I only want to play to the actual people of Lake Tahoe. No tourists allowed. I'm going to put up a sign up on the door. And if people can't show me a Lake Tahoe driver's license, I think they will be refused entry.
I think you've just endeared yourself with the populace up here with that statement.
Those bloody tourists coming into Lake Tahoe and not respecting our Lake Tahoean ways.
Yes.
Our customs and our traditions and our dances, our little Lake Tahoe dance that only we know about.
And those special places that nobody knows about except for those who only live here.
I'll see you in those special places that only we know about.
Exactly.
I'm talking to the space between the testicles and the bottom.
And that is such a deep crevice to even start with.
Lake Tahoe has some of the loveliest, most moist crevices in the whole anatomy of America.
And the skin is quite radiant up here as well, too, because of the nice environmentally friendly areas that this has to offer.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to get out there. I just was telling to someone about it, that I was going to Lake Tahoe, and they said they're very jealous of me.
Oh, see?
People want to be in Lake Tahoe.
No, and I think you appreciate it. You know, I mean, I've been coming up here since a little kid, and now to live up here, you realize, you know, of all places to live on the planet, this is not a bad place to be.
You've landed on your feet there, mate.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I just hope it keeps going. But as we know in this business, you've got to cherish every moment because you never know when it's going to start sliding the other way, you know?
Not only in this business, but in all the businesses in the world. Because, of course, life as we know it is finite. Even the planet itself is finite.
Right.
Even Lake Tahoe with its ancient wonders cannot last forever.
Now, not to sound stereotypical, but audiences are a lot different overseas where you live as they are here. Like here, you know, I mean, they tend to burst out in huge laughter and applause breaks. It seems to me when I was over there in England that the audiences were a little bit, not less enthusiastic, but a little bit more subdued.
Yeah, we're encouraged to blast through those applauses to keep it going, to keep this. Like in England, you sort of think if to listen to an applause is indulgent, and an Englishman must never be indulgent.
Right. Now, I know you've been recording because you're working on a new album. And by the way, I still like to call them albums. I know nowadays, even saying CD sounds antiquated. People are going, oh, MP3, you know, digital. But I still like saying you're doing an album.
I'm doing an album. I'm working on my new album.
There you go.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm working on my new album with Phil Spector. He's in a terrible mood today. Phil, put it down. No. Ah!
Phil Spector never gets a second date, but has a great wall of sound, doesn't he?
That's the perfect definition of Phil.
Now, Russell, just as a reminder, when you come up to Tahoe, as I mentioned earlier, because of the altitude, you're going to have to hydrate.
get liquid into the body when in Lake Tahoe.
Exactly, yes. And maybe a few asparagus or cucumber sticks or something like that, just to get the body acclimated to the altitude.
I'm going to make sure that I'm acclimated. I'm going to stuff my pockets with cucumber. To be honest, I always have one in there anyway, just, to make things interesting. And after my gig, I might come over the road to your place then.
Yeah, it's right across the street. Can't miss it. It'd be fun. We have 2 shows that night, so you can come over after you do yours if you still have energy, you have time. Even if you don't do a guest set, if you just want to hang out, it's kind of fun.
All right.
We're very accommodating that way, especially to fellow comics.
Lake Tahoe sounds like an idyllic place.
Oh, it's grand. It really is. And you know what the best place is? If you had more time, I've got access to a boat just to go out in the middle of the lake. It's pristine. You could almost see like 40, 50 feet down. It's just so beautifully clear. It's really,
You can't see 40, 50 feet down.
No, not meters, but 40 feet down. You can. It's really, really quite stunning.
Sounds heavenly.
It is heavenly. Google it after we have this chat.
All right. Firstly in my chat, and then Google.
Do it. Russell, it's a blast having you on. You're one of the best guests I've had in quite a while. I'm not just saying that. What kind of?
I'm so flattered. Thank you very much. You're really kind.
Ugh.
Do you want anything from me? Can I give you anything to make you happy? Like tickets, or can I turn up at the Improv and say, Russell, he offered either to do a set or to clean the lavatory. But we've got a lot of comedians on that night, and it does cost quite a lot of money to keep a cleaner on regular, so we've got to clean the lavatories. I'll be happy to do it.
Well, and comics are a filthy lot, so yes, we'll have a lot of work cut out for both of us.
I bet. All right, mate, well, I'll talk to you soon.
And the invitation stands, and we have a booth for you backstage.
Oh, my God, I can't wait to get in the booth.
And if you get a little bit of time before your show, this really is a great place to meditate. Tahoe is the place for all Zen-like things to occur.
Oh, my God, I can't wait to get out there.
Oh, it's going to be grand. Look, I'm starting to sound like you. It's going to be grand. Russell Brand, comedian, actor on Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault podcast. Hey, you know who was really great to chat with? I mean, they're all great, but she's just so blatantly honest. She never holds back. That means you're a really good comic. Chelsea Handler. Oh, my God. She went after me right away.
Are you gay?
No, I'm not gay, but I'm mistaken as gay sometimes because of my voice.
Right. I can totally understand that.
That's why I had to grow the beard, just so at least when people see me, they know that, I'm a dude. By the way, I'm really excited to have you on the podcast. Thank you.
Oh, my God. It's so exciting, isn't it?
For a lot of folks who don't know, Chelsea Handler, before she had her very successful television show, still is a great stand-up comic and an author as well.
Yeah, I was an author. I was an author before my show came out. My book came out in June. It's all about all my one-night stands. You're not in it.
Well, because you haven't gotten to Tahoe yet.
You sound more like a woman than I do. But I'm kind of manly, so,
Well, if I lower my voice and sound more like this, Chelsea, then I sound like a man, and that way you can tell what sex I really am. Hey, don't let the voice fool you, Chelsea. I think I could qualify as one of your one-night stands.
No, definitely not. I like my one-night stands smaller than me, so it's easy to get rid of them in the morning. I like to be able to take them in a fight.
You're the kind of woman that would do very well in Lake Tahoe because the female-to-guy ratio is 1 woman to every 6 guys.
Yeah, what's the story with that? I can't believe I haven't been there sooner.
Yeah, it's great for women, but I mean, as a guy, unless you want to brokeback it, we have to look off the mountain.
Oh my God! Well, I'm excited to come then. 6 guys for make sure everybody knows I'm available and single and looking.
You know what? I'm looking at your website. You're quite a stunning young lady and very funny as well. What's up with that?
I don't know. It's all the plastic surgery.
Do you ever get that from other comics? Do guys ever give you that look at how funny can she be? She's a chick, for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Guys always say that. They're like, there's all guys that think girls aren't funny or she's not funny, or especially if you're attractive. They're like, she's not funny. She's not going to be funny. It's like, yeah, I don't think so, buddy.
Which is so half-assed backwards,
I know. Lots of chicks are funny. There's a lot of female comics in L.A. that are really funny. I perform all the time, so I see a ton of girls, and a lot of them are attractive. Some of them are fat and lesbians, but some others are attractive.
Well, you have the added bonus of being funny and attractive. Have you ever thought about switching teams just to get more material?
I've thought about it, but it's like, who pays for stuff? I don't need to get in that kind of relationship. I'm not going Dutch with anybody.
You're from the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry about that. My voice is sounding gay again. You're from the East Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey.
I bet you haven't been back there in years, huh?
No, I go back all the time. My whole family lives there, so unfortunately I have to go back quite often.
Oh, Chelsea, the family must be ecstatic. They must be thinking, finally, someone to take care of our retirement.
I know, right? Can I just tell you? Oh, my God, you don't even know. I'm like supporting my father. It's such a joke. I'm like, what kind of father are you? He's like, so I'm going to need a check this week. I'm like, oh, really? For what? He's like, don't worry about that. I'm like, okay.
You know what? You are a really nice person. You sound better than whatever it says in your bio.
I don't think that's in the bio.
Well, I want to show you a really good time when you get up here. So when you come to the lake, if you come earlier, I have access to a boat. So I want to take you out to Emerald Bay and be like your personal host up here in Tahoe.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, my God. You know what? I think I'm leaving so early in the morning, but I would totally love to do that.
Well,
I think I'm leaving on like a 10 o'clock flight in the morning.
Actually, I found out you were leaving. I checked on your flight. That's why I made the offer, because there's no way I'm getting up at that hour.
You're really an ass. I can't believe that you're like an Indian offerer. You're like, hey, let's go for a boat ride. Oh, okay, yeah. Why don't you, is that what you do? You invite people when you know they're not available?
No, I had no idea.
That's what I do, actually.
Hey, you know what, though? How about this?
Why don't we go drunk boating? That always works out well. Hardly any people ever get hurt doing that.
I've got an extra life jacket. I'm set.
I have water wings.
Chelsea, this is a hoot. I'm really glad you called. I really am.
Me too.
You've made my morning.
When do we start the interview?
I've actually been interviewing. I've been recording the whole time.
I'm kidding, asshole. I know. Don't edit that out, though.
No, I won't. Bitch. Hey, you want me to mention anything else going on?
Yeah, make sure you mention, though, my show's on Friday nights, 10:30 or whatever time it's there. Make sure you mention that.
What time again?
10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central. What are you, Central, Eastern, Western?
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific Time? So 10:30 Friday nights on E. Yeah, and this episode, tonight's episode is really good. I go to a plastic surgeon and get completely naked, and he circles all the body parts of mine that he would like to fix.
Well, why does he just circle those ones that are fine, and that way it won't take up so much ink?
Somebody's quick on their feet. I thought I was in pretty good shape until he showed me the picture. He shows you like what we would look like after the surgery and what it looks like before the surgery. And so he showed me the picture. I'm like, well, that's not that bad. He's like, no, that would be after the surgery. I'm like, oh, I guess I have some sit-ups to do. Please
don't fall into that, because I'll tell you, most guys, myself included, tend to like somebody with curves. And curves in a personality. Don't fall into that Hollywood, L.A. look at me, I'm a toothpick look. That is so wrong.
No, believe me, I love food and alcohol way too much. There's no way I'm going to ever be anorexic or look like Lindsay Lohan or one of those girls.
Oh, cool. Now your show up here is tomorrow night.
Yep.
Already sold out.
Oh, right on. I didn't know that. Are you coming?
Yeah.
Yeah, you better be coming there. You better come.
Okay, done.
Okay. I'm excited. This is going to be fun.
And I'm just kidding about the boat. Next time, I know you don't have time this time, but next time we can go on the boat.
Oh, I'm so bummed. All right, I got to go because I got to grab this other call, but I'll see you there Saturday.
You got it. Hey, and Chelsea, thanks. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for nothing.
Okay, have a safe flight.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Man, truly one of the nicest people, and a really funny gal, too. Hilarious. Hey, you want to hear something really funny? I was chatting with a comedian, actor, improvisational guru, Wayne Brady. And he's always had that squeaky clean image, and he got a little testy. Well, I'll just let it roll from here. Good morning.
Good morning, Howie. This is Wayne Brady.
How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great, and good to hear from you, man.
Well, that's why I called.
I'm sure you know what's so much fun about this business. It's a very small circle. Like, I always like to do this every time I interview somebody. I always try to find not just a 6 degrees of separation, but maybe even 2 or 3 degrees of separation. In fact, right now, I bet if I were to mention a couple of names that I know in the comedy business who I've worked with, odds are you probably know that person as well. So I'm betting we know the same people.
Oh, do we?
Yep. I've worked with him numerous times. Bruce Fine, originally from Boston, and I bet you know him.
Oh, yeah, of course I know Bruce Fine.
Yep, not just a comic, but also a writer. But I think he also produced a segment when you had a TV talk show.
Yeah, Bruce was a writer on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just talked to him about 2 weeks ago. Really, really, really nice guy. Just celebrated his 40th birthday, had a big shindig.
Hey, and Bruce has a lot of great credits out there, not just doing your show and stuff, but I remember a while back when he was on Last Comic Standing. He did pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as he didn't stand as long as he would want to, but he's a brilliantly funny man.
He's very, very funny, and his stature is only equaled by his height.
That's yes, I agree.
You know, we actually go way, way back. The first time I met you was way back when it was in Reno at the then Reno Hilton, now the Grand Sierra Resort. And then up here when it was Caesars, now it's Mont Bleu.
Yes, it's fancier, so they can charge more for everything now.
Exactly. New name, new personnel, new price.
As soon as you make something sound French, it automatically becomes $10 more.
You know, it's funny. You've always had this image, you know, doing the talk show and, you know, whose line is it anyway? Kind of a squeaky clean kind of an image thing, you know. But I like you in...
Which I have to say I did not cultivate. I'm not squeaky clean. I'm a grown man. So anyone that wanted to feel that I was a squeaky clean image, that's on them entirely. So I know exactly where you're going.
No, actually quite the opposite. And here is the compliment. I laughed my Jewish ass off when I saw you on that time, a segment of the Dave Chappelle show. That had to be the funniest thing I've ever seen ever that was on that show.
Thanks, man. I'm glad. I had a great time doing it, and it's always nice when you can make a funny, you know.
And you know what? I think most people when they love seeing when their characters do something that's so, you know, step out of the realm of what they're usually used to seeing. And that to me just showed that, A, you were cool with and very secure with your image and all that, but you just had fun working with another comic.
Well, of course I had a fun time. Dave reached out and I loved the show, was a fan. And then, like I said, I'm a grown man. I am not a choir boy. I never professed to be. I just happened to be on a couple of Disney shows. And it's not necessarily me being squeaky clean. It's like anyone that performs on stage will say, it's playing to the room. If I'm doing an ABC Disney daytime talk show, I'm not very well going to come out and go, my next guest, bitches, this next guest. Like, no, common sense. And some people can confuse trying to comport yourself with class with being squeaky clean, because a lot of comics think that they need to just walk in a room and drop the F-bomb, and that's the beginning of funny. And I think that you can be funny doing everything up until you have to drop the F-bomb. That's almost, unless you use it with style, like a lot of guys can, like a Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy, Dennis Leary. Unless you're a smart enough guy like that, you just end up coming off like a palooka. You just, hey, look at me. So I had fun doing that, because it was a way of just showing this is kind of skewering exactly what you think, but this is what I know.
It's funny you should say that, because when I was down in L.A., I used to go down the Improv. I think it was on Thursday nights. Right there on Melrose, it was you and Drew and Riles, and you'd be doing these sketches like that were hilarious, but they would never find their way onto the final product on TV.
Well, because it was live, you know, that's the nature of improv. You do it once and it's gone, but you have a chance to keep on doing it night after night.
You know what? And as a comic, and you know this more than anybody else too. I mean, you work the range from singing and acting and everything, but I think deep down inside you are one of the funniest guys I've ever had the privilege to meet. And it's almost like you keep it fresh, and so you always, what you said, playing off the crowd, I think it always keeps you fresh and on your toes, because each audience is always different every time you perform at whatever venue, be it small or a huge theater like up at Mont Bleu.
Absolutely, it's always different, and the best thing is, especially doing improv, because I'm not a stand-up, my show really is always different every show, so I get a kick out of it too, because I don't know what's coming next. So I have a great time.
Did you ever work the British version? I remember Ryan Stiles used to be on the...
Well, Ryan and Colin and Greg Proops are all on the British one. I was on the British version the very last season.
Improv to me has always been the toughest type of stand-up. Like, we had a group up here called the Stage Benders not too long ago, and just for the heck of it, they had me come up with the middle act, and they said you cannot think bits in your head. You have to totally. It's almost like you have to have this free form of consciousness and just take in what the audience is doing. But I'm so used to doing my regular stuff, A material. It doesn't work when you do improv. You have to just open yourself up to whatever happens.
Well, that's why it's improvisation. You can't come with any set things. And, that's why stand-ups do what they do, and improvisationalists do what they do, and it's a certain person that can do both, like a Greg Proops or whatever, but it's a completely different art. It isn't about, I've got this great bit planned. It's about, I am so in this moment, I'm going to take what the audience has just given me, and I'm going to throw it right back, and that's why they're laughing, because you place yourself in some danger.
You're right. It's like walking a tightrope without a net, I think, a lot of times. You never know where it's going to go.
Right, and it's a certain person that has done that long enough that there's a confidence about it.
Wow. Now, do you try to divide your time up between, because I know you do a lot of, I think you started out in Florida doing stage work at a very young age, like 16, and then from there you just, how did you branch into the comedy originally?
Well, because I've been doing improv since I was 18 or 19, but it's never been a comic thing. Doing improv, and a lot of people don't know that improv itself is just not to sound all actory, but is really just an acting exercise. It's a different branch of theater that people happen to do, and you can use it for comedy. And thank God, and that's what I use it for now. But it started off as just a way to become a better actor. I was in this class, and then we decided to form an improv company, and we did shows 6 nights a week, and a lot of time we sucked, and then we just got better. So that really was just a side thing. I did a lot of TV, I did a lot of theater, and just kept on doing it all, and I just lucked out with the Who's Line audition that happened to be doing comedic improv. If I hadn't have done that, I don't know what path I would have taken. I would have been on Broadway right now or something, like I've managed to do in the past, or I would have been singing on a cruise ship. Who knows?
Talking with Wayne Brady here, consummate entertainer, singer, comedian, actor, talking shop on Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault.
Talking shop.
No matter what level of comedy you're at, even at my level, it's not as high as your level, but you crack up when people just come up to you and go, "Hey man, can you tell me a joke, or can you just do a song?"
It's funny because folks will stop me. "Hey man, do something funny. Make up a song." And I say, "I will at 8:00 tonight in the showroom. You come and check it out."
I am so glad you said that, because that as much as I love stand-up, but when you're off stage, it's like a switch goes off. And the last thing I want to hear is somebody telling me a joke. It's like, no, I just gave you the time, and now you can come back and see it again sometime.
Right. It's a great thing to be able to pull it out and make folks laugh. It's hard to live up to the expectation of, I think my wife gets sick of, "Oh my gosh, he must just be a wild man at home. He must make you laugh all the time." And then she goes, "No, he never makes me laugh." I go, "Okay, thanks, honey."
Hey man, I'm going to let you go, but thanks very much for your time, and it was really it's just a pleasure chatting with you, Wayne.
No, man, thank you for having me, and please come and check out the show.
Some interviews that you have, the guest sometimes forgets that they're supposed to call you. Usually I call them, but a lot of times it's easier for them. Such was the case with David Spade, who not only forgot to call me, but he forgot what day it was. But then, in his defense, he texted me and said, "Call me right now. I'm at an airport," while he was busy finishing up another chat with somebody else.
I'm sorry.
So you forgot we were going to be doing an interview this morning?
Well, I did. I got up in time to do it, and then I had a flight problem, so I got on dealing with that. And then someone said, "How was the interview?" And I go, "Don't."
Oh, it's only Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe, they sleep in.
Yeah, we sleep in up here a lot. How are you, David?
I'm doing good. I was up there probably 2 years ago. I had a good time.
Oh, sweet. Before I start the interview officially,
Yeah.
This is so funny. I'm recording at the same time I'm talking. Whatever happened to Kozak? I used to work with Kozak. Remember him?
Kozak the magician?
Yeah.
Comic magician.
Is he still doing the comedy?
You know what? I haven't seen him, and Jimmy Miller used to manage him, I think.
Oh, okay.
Dennis Miller's brother. God, I don't know. A Comedy Magic Club. When you got the magic in the mix, there's like a handful of clubs. You know what I mean?
I know exactly, because there's only so high a ceiling that the flames can go up in the air.
Yeah, and then it turns into that great white thing. So they go, a lot of clubs won't have you.
And also Bob Kubota. You know Bob Kubota?
Oh, yeah, Bob Kubota, yeah.
Yeah, good golfer, a good friend of mine. And he's opened for you before. So.
Actually, I got a new guy opening for me.
Oh, yeah?
Bobby Miyamoto. I don't know if you know him.
Not too familiar with him, but he's on the same par as you, right? I mean, as an opening act, he's not better than you, or is he just as...
He plays the what? Yeah, I make sure the guy's no good. And then people go, finally, Spade.
Oh, it's finally. So what you been up to since, I mean, first off, besides the fact, that you've done the Just Shoot Me, the SNL and all that movies, you know what? The most refreshing thing is that it all boils down that you come back to the stand-up.
Yeah. Stand-up is...
your foundation, so to speak.
The problem is I'm not good anymore. But I'm still doing it. That's important. No, it's definitely fun. I've definitely done it. And that's what got me going. That's what got me on SNL.
Right.
And then, I just still do it. It's funny. I saw Sandler for the Super Bowl, and he's like, how is stand-up? Is it fun? I go, yeah. He goes, it sounds like it'd be fun. I wouldn't even know where to start. And I go, that's the problem. If you get away from it too long, you don't know what to do because you got old jokes. You got to read. It's just very tough. Chris Rock's good at it. Dennis Miller's good at it. But for me, I kind of weave in new ones. I never start from scratch.
I remember when you played was the Reno Hilton inside the big theater there?
Yeah.
I think somebody faxed over some copy points for you. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I couldn't remember. Yeah, I left my set list at home.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I remember one time in Reno, I was at the Flamingo Hilton or something like years ago doing the improv or whatever.
Right.
Supposed to get half off everything.
Uh-huh.
And when I checked out, they didn't. And, I made like $500 for the week, so my bill was $120. I go, supposed to get half off chicken strips and everything. And they were like, no. And I go, come on. So I wouldn't pay it. I paid half. So my credit was bad for 7 years. I go, that's why my credit's bad? He goes, does the Flamingo Hilton mean anything to you? I go, oh, my God.
I know. Hey, do you ever still do, like, even if, you're doing well and everything, like if there's, like, still a deli tray left over and stuff like that, do you still kind of snag a couple sandwiches? And drinks?
Well, in my dressing room, got the brown M&Ms and all that, and so if I am in a hurry, I'm like, put the Triscuits in the bag. With the avocado, whatever ridiculous things I ask for.
Oh man, that's so funny. Hey,
it's fun, but it's been, I just did Miami Comedy Festival, so at least I know most of my jokes without looking at the paper.
That helps a lot. You know what? I got to tell you, I do film reviews in addition to doing the radio and the podcast and everything else like that because it's a very small town. You get to be mayor after a while. I think Jake Johansson said.
Movie reviews, mechanic.
Exactly.
Right.
To this day, when it comes on, Coneheads is still my favorite movie.
Oh my God, you like the Coneheads?
Yeah.
How many stars are there in Coneheads? You look through there, it's like you forget, but it's Drew Carey, Ellen DeGeneres, Farley, Sandler. Everyone's in that movie.
Norm Macdonald, Lorraine Newman. By the way, Victoria Jackson played our room up here at the Improv over Christmas, and she goes, say hi to David for me.
Hey.
Hi, David.
I know, I used to flirt with her. She was cute on the show.
Before she went a little woohoo. Kevin Nealon used to live up here, right up here in South Lake Tahoe. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a granola, isn't he?
Well, not since he started doing weeds. I think that's been a good shot in the arm for him.
Oh, weeds?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sandler always used him. He's been in, I think, everything we've done.
Right.
Dickie Roberts, I think, is in Joe Dirt.
Right.
Joe Dirt, it's going to be a little Joe Dirty up there, isn't it?
Hey, the conditions up here are great. I don't know if do you ski at all or snowboard or anything like that?
I'm trying to figure out if I can do that because I always get scared, like on show day, if I go out and do something.
Oh, that you might break something? Are you going to stick around after, like Sunday, and you could hit the slopes and stuff?
That's what I'm trying to talk people into coming up with me.
Okay. Yeah, just definitely. Hey, we have a show across the street over there. Bobby Collins is headlining.
Bobby Collins, of all people.
Yeah.
I remember Bobby.
And you know what? You know who else is working with him? You're going to laugh your ass off. Mark Price. Remember him from Family Ties?
Oh, right. Skippy.
Yeah. Skippy.
That's right.
He still likes to be called Skippy, too, which cracks me up.
He doesn't like it, does he?
No, he does. He loves it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, Bobby calls him Skippy, but...
Well, I'm at...
You're across the street over at Harris in the South Shore.
At Harris, and you guys are where?
Harvey's right across the street.
Oh, Harvey's.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you just pop over after. I don't know how long your show goes.
How funny.
I know. You ever have come across someone that you kind of ribbed a little bit, maybe on your show, the Showbiz? I love that Showbiz show with David Spade on Comedy Central. You ever someone come up to go, hey, man, I don't get it. Nah.
Yeah. I mean, it's more like they don't say it now as much as they did when I was on Hollywood Minute on Saturday Night Live, because they're like, they kind of get that I might mention that they said something.
Right.
So no one wants to be the one that called me to bitch me out.
You know what? The way I would think that would be like a compliment, because like whenever Weird Al would make fun of your song, yeah. So that would be like your notoriety, you know. I mean, for that star, whoever.
Well, we starting up the Showbiz Show, and I'm reading these packets, you know, these writers send in.
Right.
And you always run across one. I thought one we would have used was Bob Denver just passed away after a long battle with typecasting. Now I don't want to get everyone from Gilligan's Island mad at me.
How about this? I went to a séance recently. We were trying to resurrect Estrada's career.
Did it work?
No.
You get the other guy?
Yeah, I got the other guy.
The other guy from Chips.
Right. What was his name? The guy that made Wilson, right?
Didn't he leave to do movies?
Yeah, he did. But Eric,
always a smart move.
Yeah, it always.
All right, well, I'll go. I'm going to get my flights ready, and I'll head up there, and we'll have a good time.
Hey, have a good flight, and I'll see you up here. I'll catch part of your show tomorrow night.
Okay, buddy.
All right.
See you. Thanks.
Later. Hey, you're listening to a very special edition, the 100th episode, a milestone, if you will, of Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault podcast. And you're listening to it, many of you are, on the Wicked Radio Network. So thank you for that as well. I'm very blessed to meet and know as friends a lot of really great comedians who are actors and who do voiceover work and just defy explanation. One of those is the voice of Roger Rabbit. Please, Eddie. Charles Fleischer. This guy has been in so many motion pictures or done voices with Johnny Depp. Of course, Roger Rabbit, he played 3 characters in that movie alone as Benny the Cab and one of the Weasels. He was in the Polar Express. Robert Zemeckis, the famed director, used him in a couple of his motion pictures. My God, he was in Zodiac and a couple. I mean, he's just so many. This man has so many incredible voices. I'm sure I could easily call him the man of 1,000 voices, Charles Fleischer.
1001.
Oh, that's right. I knew.
1001 as 7 times 11 times 13. 3 consecutive prime numbers factored to create a palindrome. Yo.
We're going to get into that, too.
We're already into it, bro, but that's cool.
And I think I got it right this time when I did the article on you. I put down Back to the Future number 2.
2.
Yeah.
Not Back to the Future 1, though.
Oh, that's right.
It was only in 2.
Oh, I put 1 and 2. Sorry.
That's okay. I don't mind false credits.
Okay. Folks, he was also
as
in
long as they're good movies.
Cane Mutiny. Oh, my God.
I was in the Candy Cane Mutiny. It's about this stripper named Candy Cane who loses her ability to speak.
I saw the dailies.
And it was Easy E. So it was Candy Cane, Mute, and E.
Oh, okay. I saw that on Netflix.
Yeah, okay. I saw that too. Okay, that's about that. Well, okay is old Kinderhook. That's Martin Van Buren's slogan when he was running.
Directors must love you. I mean, all I kept thinking was, I was not there, except I might have been there in the parallel universe I saw you, but Zemeckis...
It's a perpendicular universe.
Oh, right, I keep forgetting. Such a fine line. When you did Rabbit, was it just the Rabbit, or were you asked later by Zemeckis to do the Weasels? I think you did the Weasels and Benny the Cab?
2 of the Weasels, Benny the Cab. That was
you
after
did.
We had already...
They added that after?
Well, no, other people had done them. Actually, Benny the Cab was done by the late, great Lou Rawls.
No.
Yes, sir.
He got bumped?
Well, I don't know if you'd say bumped. He got paid.
He
was replaced.
Is that true when you record the voices? You don't really get to see the other people because you each come in independently and just do your part? Or do you ever get, like, I would think it'd be fun to go, hey, guy over there, you know.
It depends on the production, you know. Like Roger Rabbit was done, my stuff was mostly done live on set. You know that.
No, I didn't.
Of course you did.
I didn't buy the 20-year anniversary DVD. Sorry.
25.
25, sorry.
Yeah, I had a costume.
I didn't know that. You were in the whole thing? I swear to God, Charles, I had no idea.
You don't have to swear to the Lord.
I know, but...
It's, it's a job. Job's a job.
Yeah, I know. Folks, no more Jazz Cat Cafe. Howie's having a fine sip of this Rude Brothers coffee from Rude Brothers Bagel and Coffee House.
Yeah, it's real delicious too. It's hot and it tastes like just like coffee. I mean, I wouldn't even know if this wasn't coffee. I wouldn't be able to even tell. I'd say, is this coffee? It tastes like coffee. It looks like coffee. What is it really? It's Chipongana. It's Chipongana, but it looks like coffee.
We get so many great guests that come to our comedy show. Last night, he's actually a regular, and we've communicated back and forth, emailed Steve Wozniak and his wife, Janet Wozniak. I was hoping, I'm not kidding, I was really hoping to get you guys connected, because I had emailed him saying, you've got to go this week. And then he emailed saying, we were going to come up there to do something in conjunction with the Hard Rock, a charity thing. Then Janet, his wife, emailed me and said, we'll have to reschedule. I go, oh, no, you can't. And I kept saying, you're really going to miss that. So when they tapped me on the shoulder last night, I was totally thrown off guard. And I go, you made it to the show. You got to see Roger Rabbit. And you guys instantly bonded.
Yeah, yes.
Mathematically bonded.
The number 37. That was crazy.
Isn't that cool?
That was crazy.
And his favorite number.
That's what I mean.
And that leads us into Mo Leads.
That is Mo Leads.
Oh, God. For those folks, you're getting a little extra something today. Oh, sure, the comedy's there, but this is the only individual I really get to talk some quantum physics. I'm somewhat limited in that, but I'm a huge fan of parallel universes, time travel, wormholes to get there, and also you turned me on to Mo Leads, which is it's just fascinating. You actually drew the concept. It was like a series of triangles, but I don't know how the 37 intersects and why that number is so pertinent to the whole Mo Leads process.
Well, 37 is a prime number. Anytime you use a prime number as a divisor, the resulting number is a repeating series of numbers.
Right. That's right.
The reciprocal. And the number 37, the reciprocal is based on 3 repeating numbers. 1 divided by 37 is 0.027. 2 is 0.054. 3 is 0.081. Mm-hmm. So when you divide a number by 37, the answer you get as a decimal, if you make that into a non-decimal, it's a multiple of 27. So 27 and 37, because 1 divided by 27 is 0.037, and 1 divided by 37 is 0.027. Yo, it's a reciprocal relationship. Yo.
Okay, just like last time, my head just imploded again. Let me pick up the pieces. Folks, Charles Fleischer I've known for, it's got to be a turn of the century, the last century. Or was it the century before? I can't remember.
Well, the century before didn't turn as much as it was pushed.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. Okay, so yeah, well, it was the most recent turn. That's what it was.
To everything. Turn, turn, turn. There's a reason.
Don't go too biblical. Hey.
Ecclesiastes, man. Yeah. And also the birds.
Right.
Roger McGuinn. 8 miles high.
Oh, I know. So you want to be a rock
Hey,
and roll
I don't want to sound like old fuddy-duddy monkey dog flam Sam.
Yeah.
But, like, I the kids today with their music. But is music as good as it was?
There's some real gems out there. You have to look. But there are some good gems. I'm not talking sampled, because that to me is just stealing from the good stuff that was recorded back then, But there's actually some good. I like more the stripped down sound of just the singer songwriter and the guitar. So the Goo Goo Dolls.
Look at the charts. Look at the back in the day, so to speak. The different rock bands like Jefferson Airplane, Steppenwolf, Spirit,
and Motown. There was the
whole thing. It was like an incredible.
It wasn't
array.
So segmentized like it is now. You have to.
Speaking of a Spirit, Stairway to Heaven. Well, it seems that Jimmy Page ripped that beginning from Randy California.
What, his guitar riff there?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you ever heard the song Taurus by Spirit?
I loved. There's the one
that
did.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The beginning is it's Stairway to Heaven.
The same group that did I Got a Line on You, Baby. I got a line on you, Yeah.
And Uncle Jack.
Yeah.
Uncle Jack and Nature's Son.
Okay, I got to pull that one out. Well.
Wow, he did pull it out. Wow, talk about Spirit. You are expanding. Is that a CD or a CD-ROM?
Oh, hey, you.
It's a CD-ROM. Rama.
You once came up with a great mind twist. What if Einstein
tweeted?
What would he tweet? And where would he go with that?
I actually had this idea to do like a whole history book of as tweets. You could call it like history retweets itself. And you're just like, Ben Franklin. I tried the kite again today. Tomorrow I'm working on glasses. George Washington, I just had a crazy lunch. Martha is nuts.
But
LOL.
You'd be limited to only so many characters. That would really inhibit Shakespeare.
Well, if he was Shakespeare.
How many voices do you do on a given day? Because on your stage show, you'll kick in. I tried to count one night. It was the last time you were here. With a few slight inflections, you had over close to 30 on one given night. Plus, you would mimic somebody from the audience that said something. It was great.
Well, it was
I'm trying. I can't.
I'll throw in maybe a Beatle one. Just another English one, and then there's always Southern that comes up, or New York, or the Indian that can come in many times as well.
That was one.
Japanese. There's so many different voices. How I did never can tell whether you are going to do a voice for the people or I don't even know why they come in this area because I don't subscribe to television. I don't have cable television. I get mine live.
Will a certain voice creep in when you're trying to punch a certain...
Please don't say creep.
Sorry.
When you're extended
Will a certain
like
voice
that.
invite itself
Ooh.
when there's a certain phrase that you want to punch? Because it's fun to watch people, they'll listen, they'll kind of go, oh, and then,
that'll
voice.
work. And you know what else? Sometimes, when people misspeak or like you say a word and you just say it wrong. Well, let's say I say the word house, I go, house. So you just like, how did you make that into the pad? So if you mispronounce something, you don't apologize. You say, oh, I messed that up. You just like turn that into something. It was all planned. I should not reveal that, but I don't care. I'm helping out the young kids today.
Yeah.
By that I mean the octogenarians down by the pool in Crystal City. Special shout out to Maud and Flutes. God bless these girls. Flutes, my God. How she got a name, you'll never know. But wow, what a girl. Flutes McGee.
Do you ever run out of voices? Or do you ever just have to kind of grasp
I just
them?
go down to the voice station and charge it up. If I run out. Honey, I'm out of voices. Really? Yes, I'm going to go down to the voice store. Are you sure you're out? I don't know if I'm out completely, but I'm very low. Well, you should go to the voice store. But the voice store is closed. But he has a password.
You'll probably love this, and I think it's a real honor. Janet Wozniak, last night when you were talking to Woz, said she saw a lot of similarities between you and the late Robin Williams. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, no question. I got that my whole career.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool that she would acknowledge that.
Well, we're both heavily inspired by Jonathan Winters.
Heavily?
Heavily.
I didn't know that either.
Jonathan Winters and Groucho Marx.
Groucho I can see.
Yeah, you can see Groucho, but you don't see him that often. Jonathan Winters was very entertaining. I did George Burns last night. I just remembered. I didn't.
I have never heard the George Burns.
I did Burns last night, but a lot of people don't know who George Burns is, so don't do him that often. They know Rug Burns. They know Patty Burns.
Well, how about one night I be Gracie?
Well, you mean again? Amazing Gracie.
It's like, did you ever have the opportunity to exchange voices with Robin? That would probably be a real fun fest.
Did you ever see the Academy Award thing we did together?
No.
Seriously?
I saw the picture you posted. Which was
well,
really cool.
My daughter posted the actual video clip.
Hey, I found it. Let's play the clip with Charles Fleischer and Robin Williams from the 1989 Academy Awards show.
I would like to bring out to help me this evening the voice of Roger Rabbit, Charles Fleischer.
Thank you very much. Robin, because of the amazing success of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, tunes are now being taken seriously in Hollywood, and soon tunes are going to be offered serious dramatic roles.
That's right. They'll be doing a sequel starring Roger Rabbit and Mickey Mouse in Rain Mouse. Mickey Mouse!
But you don't understand that there is no came out in Toontown.
And if we do that well, we can also see maybe cartoon characters on Broadway. Elmer Fudd in Streetcar Named Desire. Stella.
Mickey Mouse will be able to explore the character parts. Hello, my name is Mickey Mouse. Welcome to the Mouse Club. M-I-C, see what I mean? K-E-Y, why? Because I said so.
We also believe that tunes have a power. Tune power, because tunes could one day rule the world. They could be political leaders, right?
Hey, that's a good idea.
Hey, that's the way to go.
Tunes, political leaders. Hey, how about the Gaddafi Duck?
That's it. Hey, maybe Yasser Ararat.
Hey, Mousy Tune.
Ayatollah Kamausi.
Hey, that's a good one. Hey, Goofy Bush.
Hey, Dan Quayle. No, that's
Too
too close. Okay.
It's too close.
Hey, go away from that one. Out of here.
This is a special achievement award that's being presented to Dick Williams for his incredible direction in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He has the ability to create cartoon characters that move with the grace and agility of fine dancers and to project the great emotional depth of our finest actors.
Ditto.
Zotto. This is for Dick Williams. He's really the best because he draws cartoons much better than the rest. He draws his tunes with style and class. He drew my wife and she's got a nice smile. Take it, Popeye.
He gives them life, he gives them smarts, he gives them smarts, and he gives them life. Too bad he didn't draw my wife. I love him there.
So I guess what we're trying to say is Dick Williams is here to stay. So here's the secret from me to you. Richard Williams is a tune too.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember this. Great cartoon voices without great animation would simply be radio. Please welcome Richard Williams.
Folks, that was on Charles Fleischer's Facebook page. We communicate every once in a while via Facebook.
You do. You Facebook me. I Facebook you.
I know. It's like,
I'm going back to MySpace. I'm going back to MySpace.
That was cool. That must have been a real thrill to be up there. And I forgot who the Oscar was for already, but that was really, really cool.
Richard Williams for animating Roger Rabbit. It was an Academy Award. It's on my Facebook page.
I like that.
It's all over the mail. I mean, you can even Google them. You can Google it, man. Google it. That's like a whole new word. Google it.
You must be thrilled with the advent of the internet. I mean, I still like reading old books and stuff.
You know, you said the word vernacular. You said advent. You're like a thesaurus over there. He's got a vernacular. He's got an advent. He's all over the map with his verbose.
I have an abacus.
Hey, I don't like that group Abacus. Abacus, I tell him not to cuss. Hey, Def Leppard, they don't cuss.
Oh, yeah. Favorite group? I know you had Marilyn Manson on your podcast. That was cool.
Manson.
That guy's very intelligent.
Manson, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's been hanging out with him lately.
That was fascinating watching that.
I like Manson a lot. I like a lot of groups.
I can see what you,
yeah, Bowie, of course, you know, the Beatles, the Doors.
Wow, there you go.
The Lizard King. When the still sea conspires in armor.
Mind expanding.
Sun aborted current, breed tiny monsters. True sailing is dead. Awkward instant. The first animal is jettisoned. Legs pumping furiously. Heads bob up. Their stiff green gallop.
Wow.
Carefully refined and sealed over. Horse Latitudes, you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Door song? You know what the Horse Latitudes is, right?
I thought you were quoting from The End.
No, that's Horse Latitudes.
Oh, okay.
This is the end. You know, the killer awoke before dawn, and he put his boots on, and he walked on down the hall. Arsenio.
So what are the horse latitudes again?
Okay, horse latitudes. What are the horse latitudes?
Yeah.
Do you know what they are?
I haven't had enough.
Coffee?
Yeah.
I will drink some more, and then you'll have horse littletudes. Horse latitudes is a place in the ocean where there was no wind. So the old ships, they'd be stuck there. So they'd have horses on board. And they would tie ropes around the horse's neck and throw them overboard. And the horses would swim and pull the ship out of the horse latitudes. Of course, the horses would die.
Whoa.
Carefully refined and sealed over. Mute nostril agony.
Whoa.
Carefully
I had
refined and sealed over.
Maybe they used unicorns because they had the little thing on their head. and that's how they became extinct.
Well, you know, there is that animal that looks like a whale unicorn.
So I wonder how many animals they had to go through to decide they pulled them out of the horse latitudes. Like, started with maybe a chihuahuas.
They started with pigs. You know, they said, well, eat the pigs. I'm not throwing a pig overboard. That's bacon. What about a chicken? Chickens can't do that unless you're having chicken for dinner. I don't need horse meat, do you? Throw the horses.
It's like...
Silva, Randy Kahn, Schmale, Secretariat. Let's go, babe.
Maybe they threw over women.
No, they wouldn't do that.
That's like...
That is misogynistic. I miss misogynistic. I miss oleogenistics.
When you're doing the show, and it's fun to watch, it's always fun to watch because no two shows are ever the same. By the way, folks, yeah, no two shows are ever the same. But I keep watching to see where he's going to springboard into almost like the next dimension. What's going to be the key word that takes it? Oh, sometimes it's a new voice that takes you that direction. And I wondered if you assigned certain bits to certain voices, and they're sitting there waiting patiently. Come on, let's go. It's my turn. And then that
evolves. You know, like there's one bit that I've been doing, and it's I do it Jamaican for some reason. I don't know why. That wasn't even Jamaican dialect, but I did it then because I censored myself because the bit is not radio friendly.
Well, I could do it for the podcast.
No, man, I ain't doing that stuff. No. Podcast. I mean, we're doing like, what are we doing now, man? Is this radio or podcasting?
Right now it's podcasting, Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault, but I could do it for radio as well, too. It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. That doesn't sound right.
Not if it's Sharon Stone.
I'm sharing two birds.
Getting stoned with two birds.
With one bone.
I'm getting stoned with two birds. This one here, name's Little, and this one, she's
I'm going to use this one for the podcast.
I don't even know what a podcast is, but I'll cast my pod upon it.
I'll try it, though. I like how you take a word, and then you'll take half of a word to create the beginning or the exit of another word, so it almost like threads its way through.
Well spoken, my brother of financial abstinence.
Thank you. You may call me vernacular.
I will call you on your vernacular. Hey, Vern, bring me some vernacular. Vern, I got the spatula. Who got the flip and the tie to the Dracula?
It's like...
The vernacular of Dracula. That's not right, because he'll come up and give your neck a bite.
When you go in for a reading, because obviously you get the script in advance... like a script you brought in. The script you brought in today, but it's just regular you, right? Your voice. Or a character, I guess. But it's not a voice.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of regular. I think it may be Russian.
Will they write that in there? It must use that accent?
No, they don't. But the name is Vlad, so I figured that sounds Russian, and they may do that. Nice to see you, Mr. Goodson. Please come in. Can I offer you maybe some tea? I didn't think they serve tea in prison. Well, they don't, but I'm allowed to offer it to you. So what can I do? I need to help you. Yeah, I gotta do this and that for the thing. Maybe I can help you. Yeah, my girlfriend, she hacked into my life, ruined everything, and she called me on the phone. Well, that is what phones are for. Well, she wasn't on the phone. Oh, she is very clever. What it means? How can I help you? Okay, log this into your computer, type in these passwords, and her hacking days are over. Okay, why are you doing this to me? One day I'll help you out. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe get you some Laker tickets if they're still playing basketball in 2020. Something like that.
You know, a lot of comics are writing books these days.
You and I are the only people that haven't written a book together.
We should write a book together. That would be fun.
Let's do it.
You want to?
Let's do the sequel first.
Okay, right, because I have ADD. That would be perfect.
I have the DA's phone number.
I've got the assistant.
Nice, ADD.
We're good to go. Before I forget, because this is one thing I really want to talk on. Wormholes. And I know this is people are going to be going like, what the? Wormholes as a conduit to get you to one place to another light years away. But can wormholes be used as a time traveling conduit because of the speed in which you travel from point A to point B? Could you theoretically?
Theoretically. I mean, are you talking about a wormhole? You're talking about a black hole, or are you differentiating or combining?
No, because I'm kind of vague on the black hole.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not what she said. She said you were downright enthusiastic about your black hole studies. Black hole sun, black hole sun.
So, in essence, a black hole is all-consuming.
You know, a black hole is kind of like, where does a black hole go?
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely theoretical because if you entered a black hole, you would be
gone,
stripped up. But,
Yeah.
you know, theoretically, there could be a little cabin that could go through it.
Right, because it's like a funnel.
Well, yeah, theoretically, you could access any point from any point because everything's connected.
Right. See,
right here, we could, you know, if I had the devices,
we could just enter
3,000
one.
years from now, I could just, right here and right in front of us, right in the space, we could.
Like Stargate?
Yeah, but better than Stargate.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have MacGyver.
We had Kurt Russell.
Kurt. And then that became like a TV show, and it became like Stargate.
That's right.
It was like the real show, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Brooklyn.
Hey, we'll go to the Stargate. Wolfo, I need a sandwich. Well, that traffic is crazy. I'm going to use the Stargate. You can't use that Stargate now. Yeah? What are you going to do about it, huh?
Do you ever call back voices from your past that were, or do you file it away like from a movie? I don't know, Polar Express or Roger Rabbit, which is the most famous one, I guess. Do you ever bring those voices back, or only just for something like when you did the 25-year DVD? Was that a box set, or was that just a?
It came in a box.
It did.
Yeah.
It didn't.
That's an old Sammy Davis Jr. joke. You know, we're doing the dirtiest show that's clean in the world.
It is.
It's double entendres.
People are connecting dots going, whoa, that's not Cassiopeia.
These aren't even dots, and that's no road.
Dots. you know, of all your voices, I like that dark overlord voice when you go, that one is always a constant thread throughout your show.
Maybe.
That one, yes. That one is always...
There's this one which can frighten people.
That's
and then there's this one, which can go very scary, or you can make it more mad. How you doing?
You know what? I'm gonna try to remember if I could. I've heard both those because I've known you for like 18 years.
It's more now since the last time you said it.
Oh my God! It keeps going. Proof that the universe may not be finite.
But it definitely needs a maid. This universe is so messy. Wow! Can we get this cleared up, man? This galactic cluster looks. Clean up your galaxy, dude.
Look at this. There's stars everywhere.
What a dump.
Where are we going to hide all this? A black hole.
What's that from? What a dump.
That sounds like James Mason is for a second.
It's Elizabeth Taylor.
Well, the way you said it.
Virginia Woolf, is it?
Was it Virginia Woolf?
I think so.
I think you're right.
I think it's Liz Taylor.
Yeah.
What
a dump this place is. I'm hoping within our lifetime that we find another planet that I'd hate to say that we would occupy, because what if we have a bad history of moving out locals?
Well, eventually we're going to have to, because, you know, our sun's got 5 billion years more. And then boom.
Before it becomes a solar flare?
Well, no, it becomes a red giant.
Yeah, red giant, that's right.
And then it goes to CNN.
Of all the rooms you like performing at, I know this is in your top 10 just because it's always comfortable.
I'll tell you one reason that I like it here. The crew is the best in the industry.
They're they are good. They make sure the piano's all...
It's just like, it's another level. I mean, these guys, they've been doing this, you know, they did it back in the day with like the greats.
Yeah.
Those guys make it, you know.
They make it easy.
It just makes it like you feel like, hey, I'm in a professional situation.
Yeah. No, that's good though. But that's from the technical end. But as far as your mind goes, I would think this would be a very...
I love it here.
Up here, relaxing-wise. Because you could tell when you go to a room and there's a weird vibe. This one is...
It's, you know, audience to audience. I mean, you can have a great audience anywhere. And you can have, like last night was fantastic.
That was
so
great.
Many, science and physics people, and just the really... it was a great crowd. Boy,
I know, see?
Hope they come back.
They'll be back.
I mean, all of them.
Same ones.
In the same order. What the dumb. I am trying.
Are you looking it up?
I was trying to, but I am.
Yeah, look that one up for me.
Bye-bye.
This is fun. Hey, and thanks again for encouraging me to even start doing a podcast. You're right. A lot of comics, Nick Griffin, Graham Elwood, and you too.
Yeah.
You can find a niche like that. And people, I mean, I think that somebody actually liked my stuff.
Son of a niche. You son of a niche.
Do you still have your podcast though, or because sometimes it's spotty?
I never had a podcast.
Not a podcast. I forgot what you call it.
I was a TV show live. It was video live.
Video. That's what video.
Video stream. Yeah, TV, radio.
Oh, that's right.
Radio killed the video. Slang.
So what script do I have to read? I mean, are you going to have me read it?
I need to send it to your email address.
Okay.
It's not a script. It's like a couple of lines.
Oh, okay. And I get to be Charlie Sheen?
Have you ever seen a Stan Wheelia spider?
Yeah.
For real? Big.
They're huge. They're bigger than the sand spiders in Iraq.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a sand spider in a rack in my pants right now. Is that a sand spider in a rack in your pants? Or you're just happy to be out of prison? Anyone who knows Mamie Van Doren's blood type, call that in.
Call us right now if you'd like to hear a voice.
Or call us right later.
See,
I can't even believe this is a television show. Where are the cameras, by the way? This is no way to run TV.
And the password is the rabbit. I dare you to say it.
I don't dare you, but I will compare you to nothing that can be sold but a fly world.
Wow.
If somebody wanted to email you, what would your email address be? You don't give that on the air because you could get bombarded with spam.
Howie Nave at AOL.com. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing, Charles?
I'd like to say that it's love, love, love. If you find somebody to love them all up. And if they betray you and they're not loyal, give them another chance. If they do it again, if they're really fine, give them another chance. If they do it again, get yourself a better piece of crybaby cheese. I think I'd like to do that again. I'd just like to say what I said before was all good. But what I'm going to say now is even better. And that's what I'm saying. Because when you drink your coffee and have the thumball, you're going to put Thumbelina in the long haul.
Oh, my God. I just entered the horse latitude. My career is in the horse latitude.
That's not a career, Howie. That's a moose on a cup. By the way, I want to say Howie Nave is really, he's a princely dude. He's genuine and generous. He's a mensch. He's funny. He's always professional. And he has an amazingly large...
vernacular.
Ego. Heart. Car. Fill in the blank.
All the above.
He eats vegans for dinner. He eats vegans. He thinks he's a vegetarian because he eats vegans. Somebody tell him. People are meat.
That's true. That's why I never dated vegans.
That's why I never dated a cow.
And we're out.
Of the closet.
Goodbye, Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault Podcast. Thank you to all my guests I had today. Goodbye, Howie's High Sierra Comedy Vault Podcast. And I hope to see you back again this way.